And finally, before we get to your questions, we have some news to announce.
Kathy Engelberg, Commissioner of the WNBA, just announced that starting in 2025, the WNBA Finals format will change.
Breaking news. The WNBA has just announced a sweeping overhaul of league rules, and fans are furious.
Why?
Because these desperate changes come just weeks after superstar Caitlin Clark walked away from the league entirely. Was it planned all along? Or is this the fallout from the most devastating rookie exit in WNBA history?
I knew the atmosphere was going to be electric when they announced Caitlin's name in the dark and the fans went crazy.
On September 26, 2024, Caitlin Clark stunned the basketball world by announcing she was leaving the WNBA to play overseas. Her rookie season was record-shattering, 62 broken records, 1.5 million fans in attendance, and viewership up 170%. But behind the scenes, Clark was bruised, exhausted, and unsupported.
And with the WNBA playoffs, let's stay here. Let's just say the ratings aren't the same with Caitlin Clark and the Indiana Fever now eliminated.
The moment Clark left, the magic disappeared. Attendance plummeted. Games that once drew millions now barely cracked 500,000 viewers. Fans began asking the hard questions. Why didn't the WNBA protect its biggest star? Why did refs allow flagrant fouls? Why was the league silent?
To go to multiple arenas so that people that are watching at home can see this environment in a multitude of cities. It's amazing. I love it. The growth continues.
In a stunning move, Commissioner Kathy Engelberg announced the most drastic WNBA format change in decades: expanded regular season, extended playoff rounds, and a brand new finals format. But fans weren't impressed. Many saw this as a PR stunt to distract from deeper issues like officiating, favoritism, and player safety.
Starting in 2025, the WNBA Finals format will change to a best-of-7 series.
Yes.
And the format will be 2-2-1-1-1.
Fans aren't asking for more games. They're asking for fair play. Caitlin's style, fast, flashy, team-driven, wasn't just exciting. It was revolutionary. But the league let old biases and rivalries drag it all down.
Say for the fans, it's a benefit for your team. Has played well enough to get into the playoffs. So now that your fans will be able to see your team play at home during those playoffs.
Clark's critics didn't just question her game, they attacked her identity. Cheryl Swoops accused the media of hyping her because of her race and looks. Candace Parker said Clark's fame was marketing, not merit. But fans and the numbers told a different story.
With the increased attention this year, there's also been increased scrutiny about the quality of refereeing. Curious if there has been any conversation about whether it's referee pay, referee training, anything to ensure that is as good as it can be.
Never mind that Clark outscored and outplayed almost every WNBA veteran. These weren't critiques. They were takedowns.
One thing as a very long-term sports fan I know is that officiating and refereeing is always at the top of a fan's list, of the media's list. Not every, they're humans.
Kathy Engelberg is now facing intense backlash. Her refusal to address officiating failures, silence during attacks on Clark, and delayed rule changes have left many calling for accountability. Was she protecting the league or burying its biggest problem?
Came to see Caitlin Clark tonight.
Oh, gotta watch number 22.
I've been watching Caitlin for a couple of years, and since then I've dreamed about coming to a game.
The fallout is undeniable. Sponsors are pulling back. Arena sections are being tarped off. Fans are leaving in droves. And now, the WNBA is left scrambling to replace a superstar they never appreciated.
White, one black. And so we have that moment with these two. But the one thing I know about sports, you need rivalry. That's what makes people watch. They want to watch games of consequence between rivals. They don't want everybody being nice to one another.
Clark, now headed overseas, is reportedly earning triple her WNBA salary. More protection, more respect, more freedom. Meanwhile, the WNBA is stuck in limbo, rebranding, restructuring, and reeling. But here's the real question. Can the league survive without her?
No league's ever about one player. That player could get hurt or whatever. So I think it's just to give recognition that in sports, people watch for compelling content and rivalries. And you can't do that alone as one person.
Caitlin Clark didn't just play the game, she changed it. She gave the WNBA a glimpse of what it could be, and then left because the system failed her. These rule changes might be bold, but they're not brave. And until the league protects its stars, listens to fans, and cleans up its house, no rulebook can save it.
And the Fever are going to be over 200,000 higher than the next highest total attendance in league history.
Clarkonomics, my friend.
The WNBA has just changed the rules of the game, but not for fairness, not for progress.
No.
They did it because they're in panic mode. Just weeks after Caitlin Clark's shocking departure from the league, Commissioner Cathy Engelbert has announced a massive rule overhaul. But here's the twist fans aren't celebrating.
They're outraged.
Why now? Why after Caitlin Clark walked away? This isn't reform, it's a cover-up.
That's what's called being a consumer. You get to buy what you want to purchase.
Caitlin Clark wasn't just a rookie, she was a revolution. She shattered 62 records, packed arenas nationwide, drew 54 million viewers. She sold out more games in one season than most veterans could dream of. Her jersey, the best-selling rookie jersey in WNBA history. But beneath the spotlight, something darker was happening. She was disrespected, ignored, targeted, and worst of all, unprotected. The league used her image, her talent, her name, and then left her to fight alone.
I don't even know why I would intend to hit anybody in the eye. That doesn't even make sense to me. But no, I didn't. I didn't know I hit her, actually. I was trying to make a play on the ball, and I guess I followed through and I hit her. So obviously it's never intentional. That's not even like the type of player that I am.
Instead of celebrating her brilliance, many WNBA veterans launched brutal, personal attacks. Cheryl Swoops twisted it into a race debate, saying Clark was hyped because she's white and pretty. Candace Parker called her fame a marketing gimmick. But here's what they forgot: you can't market numbers like hers unless they're real. Clark outscored and outplayed almost everyone. Her game spoke for itself. The media tried to downplay it. The league stayed silent. The fans? They saw through it all.
They decided that they were going to let her know she was Rookie of the Year with a phone call in Connecticut during a practice before a playoff game. You can't make this up.
Now, in a suspiciously timed announcement, the WNBA reveals sweeping rule changes for 2025. For extra regular season games, a brand new playoff format. The finals will now be a best-of-7 series. Sounds progressive, right? But ask yourself, why now? Why didn't these changes come when Clark was being attacked on court, when fans begged for reform, when stars needed protection? Because now, they've lost their biggest draw. This isn't progress. This is panic.
Let me speak for every one of those fans when I say, I will put my time, my effort, my enjoyment into whatever makes me happy. I enjoy watching her play, and that makes me happy.
The backlash was immediate. TV ratings nosedived by over 70%. Games that once drew millions now struggle to hit 500,000. Fans are furious. Comment sections flooded. TikToks go viral. We came to see Caitlin. Now, there's nothing left. Even sponsors are backing away. And it's not hard to see why. This league didn't just lose a player, it lost its identity. When Clark won Rookie of the Year, which she earned by every measurable standard, how did the league celebrate it? A phone call. No ceremony. No crowd. No cameras. Just a call in the back of a practice gym. No lights. No stage. No pride. That wasn't just disrespect, that was deliberate. And fans noticed. This league couldn't wait to minimize her impact. But the numbers? They couldn't be hidden. Where was the protection? Where were the referees when Clark got elbowed, shoved, and poked in the eye? Where was the league when fans demanded accountability? Cathy Engelbert says it's about balance. But the only thing balanced here is the silence. Fair officiating? Ignored. Player safety? A joke. Stars being protected? Please. If Clark were treated with half the care they now claim to have, she'd still be here. Now, Caitlin Clark is reportedly headed overseas where she'll make triple the salary, receive better protection, and be treated like the star she is. And the WNBA? They're left scrambling. They rode her fame to the top, then drove her away. The new rules are a Hail Mary, but they're missing the one player who made any of it matter. And the fans? They know it. Caitlin Clark didn't just elevate the WNBA, she exposed it. She showed fans what greatness looked like. And when the league failed to rise with her, she walked away. The rule changes, the announcements, the marketing spins, it's all noise. Until the WNBA respects its stars, protects its players, and listens to the people who fill those seats, no rulebook will save it. Caitlin Clark changed the game. And now, the WNBA must answer for how they let her go. Caitlin Clark's shocking decision to walk away from the WNBA didn't just rattle the basketball world, it exposed the league's deepest cracks, flaws it had long ignored in the shadow of temporary fame. When Clark entered the WNBA, she was more than a rookie, she was a revolution. A generational talent who brought not only elite scoring and jaw-dropping passes, but something the league had been chasing for years: relevance. With her arrival, ticket sales exploded, national broadcasts doubled, and merchandise sold out in record time. ESPN, ABC, and social media couldn't get enough of her. Fans new and old flooded arenas wearing number 22 jerseys. Yet, behind the highlights and sold-out crowds, an ugly reality festered. Clark was never truly embraced by the WNBA establishment. She was mocked for her looks, ridiculed by veterans, slammed with hard fouls, and thrown into media firestorms that questioned her worth and legitimacy. Sheryl Swoopes accused her rise of being racially motivated. Players like Chindy Carter physically attacked her during games with minimal repercussions. The league's response? Deafening silence. No fines. No public support. Not even a message of solidarity. And when the playoffs arrived and Clark's Indiana Fever were swept amid controversy and poor officiating, the WNBA offered her nothing but the cold shoulder. It was no surprise then when just 48 hours later, on September 26, 2024, Clark announced her departure. The league's biggest star, the very player who was carrying the brand on her back, was gone. And the aftermath was brutal. Overnight, ratings plunged by over 80%. Social media turned toxic with hashtags like #BoycottWNBA and Justice for Clark trending worldwide. Sponsors reconsidered deals. Arena attendance collapsed. Even team merchandise sales took a historic hit. In a panic, Commissioner Kathy Engelbert rushed to announce sweeping changes: new playoff formats, longer final series, and a 44-game regular season. But fans weren't impressed, because none of those changes addressed the core issues: biased officiating, player safety failures, and a cultural resistance to letting new stars thrive. It's clear now that Clark wasn't just a player, she was the glue holding the league together. Her vision of team-first basketball, fast-paced offense, and electric energy was everything fans had been craving. And now, without her, the WNBA feels like a shell of what it briefly became. These last-minute changes aren't innovation, they're desperation. The league is hemorrhaging viewers, credibility, and trust. And unless they confront the real reasons Clark walked away, the mistreatment, the politics, and the silence, the WNBA's future is hanging by a thread. Because no rulebook revision can replace the power of a player who made people believe again. Caitlin Clark was the movement. And now that she's gone, fans are wondering not just what's next, but if the league will even survive to find out. In one of the most stunning developments in recent sports history, Caitlin Clark, the breakout star who single-handedly redefined women's basketball, has officially exited the WNBA, leaving behind not just a team, but an entire league gasping for air. Her departure didn't come quietly. It came like a thunderclap, a massive, public indictment of the WNBA's inability to protect, support, and properly value its most marketable star. Clark's rookie year was unlike anything the league had ever seen. She shattered over 60 records, brought in over 54 million viewers across national broadcasts, and sparked ticket sales, merch demand, and cultural relevance that the WNBA had been chasing for decades. And yet, despite all that, despite pulling Indiana out of obscurity and into prime time, she was met with hostility, dismissiveness, and even outright sabotage. The very league that profited off her name failed her when it mattered most. From unchecked flagrant fouls to vicious media attacks disguised as commentary, Clark endured an exhausting barrage of disrespect not just from opponents on the court but from within the very structure that should have supported her rise. Legends like Cheryl Swoops turned the narrative racial, questioning her success not based on stats, but on skin color and marketability. Commentators debated her legitimacy. Coaches brushed off her treatment. And Commissioner Kathy Engelbert? She stayed silent while Caitlyn was poked in the eye, bodied midair, and sent crashing to the floor in nationally televised games without so much as a whistle. The message was clear. She may be the reason fans filled arenas, but she was never truly welcome. Then came the final straw. Her playoff series ended, and without ceremony or acknowledgement, the WNBA went back to business as usual. Clark, exhausted, demoralized, and done with the politics, announced she was leaving America seeking new opportunities overseas. That bombshell announcement on September 26, 2024, just 48 hours after the Indiana Fever were eliminated, sent the league spiraling into chaos. Overnight, ticket sales plummeted, sponsors panicked, and TV ratings fell by over 80%. Suddenly, arenas that were once sold out were draped with tarp to hide empty seats. Games that used to draw millions were now struggling to cross 400,000 viewers. The WNBA's response? Not reform, not accountability, but rule changes. In what many fans are calling a transparent PR move, the league announced a slew of format tweaks for 2025, extending the season, changing the playoff structure, and stretching the finals to a best-of-7. These changes are being sold as growth, but fans aren't buying it. Because deep down, everyone knows this isn't about improvement, it's about survival. The league lost its golden goose. And instead of facing the reasons why, they're scrambling to duct tape the damage. It's like rearranging furniture in a burning house. No one is fooled. The core problems remain: poor officiating, player safety negligence, and a culture that punishes individuality and star power instead of protecting it. And fans are speaking out louder than ever. We came to see Caitlyn Clark, they say, and now that she's gone, they're tuning out. The WNBA had a once-in-a-generation star, someone who transcended the sport, who brought together young girls, old fans, new fans, men, women, and even NBA diehards, and they wasted her. The numbers don't lie. Clark's presence increased WNBA viewership by 170% year-over-year. Her jersey sales broke every rookie record. Her games were events, moments you planned your evening around. But rather than build around her, the league tried to break her spirit. And now, without her, they're left facing the consequences. More games won't fix it. A new playoff format won't mask the loss. This is no longer about basketball. This is about a league that failed to evolve, a system that refused to adapt, and a player who finally said, enough. Caitlyn Clark's exit may be the most important story in WNBA history, not because she left, but because her leaving revealed everything the league tried to hide.